What's up, nerds? I'm going to be doing another deck profile today. It's going to be the same one I just did, but I'm doing some more different stuff. Yeah, more different. I've got a better microphone, and I've got better camera angle, I think, and this will actually be an actual breakdown of the deck, and not just some test hands. It's the Invoked Dogmatika, and I've actually been having some pretty good luck with it versus the current meta. Like, it's not amazing, but this is definitely an anti-combo deck, and it seems to be working. I don't know. In the middle. I'm not losing them all, but I'm definitely not winning them all. So, hey, thanks for watching. Alright, so first we're going to start off with the Invoked. So, 3 Magical Meltdown. Gotta have those. These are your filled spells. These let you search the Alistair. Play 3 Alistair the Invoker. And then I only play 2 Invocation. Depending on what you want to do with the deck. So I have 2 Invocation, but I also have 2 of the Super Poly. I think Super Poly is a pretty good board wipe right now, or at least a huge, really good utility to have. And so if I have the Invocations, or if I don't draw into it and I have a Super Poly, I can do basically the same things. I think this is probably the optimal build, at least for the Invoked part. So for all the Shaddoll I play, I only have the 2 Shaddoll cards in main deck, so I've got Dragon and Schism. Schism you want to search, so I only have one of these. Dragon, basically want to have it, 50% of the time, not even that. It's a good draw into, but you don't want to see it in your opening hand, unless you have like Super Poly, something like that. Now for the Dogmatika, 3 Nadir Servant, since it's at 3, you play 3. This is probably one of the better cards in this deck. It'll give you a pop, and it gets you into probably the best negate part of this deck. You want to play the 3 Ecclesia. Ecclesia the Virtuous. And I am playing 2 Maximus. That one hasn't come in the mail, so I'm just playing the, little, what would you call it? I guess a proxy? I don't know. But it's in the mail, so I'm going to be playing 2 of these. So these ones are good. These ones are good pop cards, and it's get you into your full combo. But, I don't know. 2 is good. Definitely not 3. This is one you want to be able to draw into, or search for. And if you draw into it, it's not terrible if you have the rest of the deck going. But then I've got only 1 of the Fleur-de-Lis, the Knighted. You really only want 1 of these. It's another negate. But if you see this in your opening hand, it's pretty terrible. You really want to be able to search this one. You really do not want to draw into it, because it's pretty dead unless you have the rest of the combo. 2 Punishment. So this, I've been kind of going back and forth. You definitely don't want to play 3. 2's good, but I play the 2 Maximus now. Maximus is basically a punishment that does more. So, I don't know. Alright, 3 Imperms. I like Imperms. This is a good hand trap for this one. Going first or second. Going first, play it from hand. Going second, you can get rid of some spell cards. Called by the Grave. Definitely Called by the Grave. Since this is a combo destroyer deck, but it's really combo heavy, so you definitely want to have your Called by the Grave. Same with your droplets. 2 Ash. I like playing 2 of the hand traps. Ash is pretty good versus some stuff, not good versus others. Same with Valor, but I think Ash is more relevant right now. 2 Nibiru. So this is really good. If you go second, obviously Nibiru is good. If you're going first, it's a light monster to go into, and it kind of helps build on your combo. Ghost Ogre, I'm playing this, but I really want to be playing 2 Crossout Designator. Maybe even 3, so this is basically going to do the same thing as the Called By. This helps your combos go through better, and this one is just kind of an extra pop if you happen to be going second. Triple Tactics Talents, I've got 2. This is another one I kind of go in between on if I want to play 2 or 3. It's one of those, you really want it if you're going second. If you're going first, you really don't want to see it. But, it's so good when it goes through. And then Solemn Strike. I got 3 Solemn Strike. Now, that seems a little weird. This is definitely not a trap deck, but this stops your opponent from playing a whole lot. And that's kind of the whole deal with this deck, is to stop the combos. You put up a pretty good board if you can. And then at the, end phase, if your board's set up, you should have at least 2 monster negates, and then probably a Winda setup if you can. But if you don't and you hit solemn strikes, and that stops your opponent pretty good, especially if you're playing like against Flunderies, you really have to stop their monster effects, and that's about it. All they really have. They have like 1 spell and 1 trap, but if you can stop their monster effects, it really shuts that deck down. And this meta doesn't have a lot of hand traps, so I don't know. This is, like I said, this one's good. It's a good mid-range. For the extra deck, you got a Solomon Great Almirage. You basically just have this, so you normal summon, go into him, go into secure, and this sets up either combo, if not your full combo, if you have access to it. Starving Venom, just a good, it's a good super poly target. That's why I said I have the Alistair and this Dogmatika, not the Dogmatika card, the Shadal card. So you can go into stuff like Winda and your App Cologne and stuff early. So, super poly is good. That's basically the main target for it. Titaniclad Dragon, that's for the Dogmatika. Winda, I go back and forth between using 1 and 2 of these. If everything's great, you only need the 1. Sometimes I've needed the 2, but I really try just to make the 1. Got the App Cologne, Makaba. So the App Clone gets you to the Schism, which gets you to your Winda. This is just another monster negate. Purgatorio, this is a really good going second fusion. So if you do have to go second, and you get into your Alistair, it's really, really, really good. I play the 3 Intes, and I play 3 just because Maximus can send it, and you have your punishment. So you have lots of good extra pops, so you can really hit quite a few per game. This one's a little weird. No one really plays this, at least competitively that I've seen, but this has actually come up so many times. Play the number X deck Utopic Dark Infinity, and it's just a 4,000 attack. So this is what I send if I have to get rid of something big on the field. And it's actually come up a few times, especially against like the new Dinomorphia. I actually have something that can pop their big cards. Invoked, I don't even know how to say this. Agodi? I always just call it Agodis. I'm not even sure if that is. This is really good. So if you go first and you end up going to turn 2, you want to get this bad boy out. He's just a pop and he gets big. And if they special summon, then it goes to there. And if you played into it, well, not right, but if you get a good hand, you go into your Winda. So they only get the 1 special summon. Then he'll let you pop a summon. So that's very good little combo that really shuts people down. Constructs, just because everyone plays special decks, or not special, excuse me. So many of the top tier decks play big monsters from the extra decks, and a lot of them are light. And this will just let you destroy anything that's special summoned. It doesn't really do any extra damage, but hey, just swing into it. And as long as the effect's not negated, it just pops. And Kaliga. So this one, I almost have just for Flunderies. I know it sounds a little weird. But if you can get him out and 1 monster effect, it shuts their entire deck down. And then you can slowly build up. And he only has 1,000 attack. But the big Flunderies monsters, you have to have 2 or 3 turns to get into. And as long as you're plinking away 1 at a time, it actually seems to work pretty good. So that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, it's not a whole lot different that I play that a lot of people don't play. Except for the Flunderies, I do Wendigo. And I actually play 2 of these. So you send 1, and what Schism is when that goes, you special summon, and whatever attribute it is that helps you send 1. So if you're playing against Flunderies, this is actually not a bad card at all. It's probably actually one of the better ones, especially if they go into the barrier statue, then you're not locked out of play, which is nice. Then Necro Valley. This one, really situational. So this deck can play through it, but if you don't have to, don't do it. This is really just kind of like a, man, I am playing up against tier elements and I need to shut down that graveyard. Dark Rulers, Lightning Storms, Twin Twisters, Feather Dusters, Veiler. If they're playing some rogue deck that has lots of extra stuff in it, that you have to stop lots of monster effects, probably I'd say like any Cybers or Earth Machines. And warning point, this is another good one if you know they have like lots of links, like the Cyber decks and stuff like this. This really shuts them down pretty quick. But let's do a couple test hands and see what we can come up with here. So now let me do a quick pile shuffle. Alright, now that we're all shuffled, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So this isn't a huge advantage, but we have some stuff here that we could play. So first, if we want to bait the Ash, which I always try to bait anything, not a lot of hand traps this meta, but start with the Meltdown, effect to add the Alistair. Go in here. Grab our Alistair. Now we do have cross out, so this is going to be good. So we're going to normal the Alistair, effect the Alistair to add the invocation. So now if they're going to say, okay, they're going to try and Ash it or whatever, then we have our cross out. Let's assume everything goes good. So we're going to add our invocation. Bam, bam, bam. And from here, we've got a Dark. We've got the Shadal. We also have another Alistair. So honestly, for this turn, I'd probably Invocation, send these two. He's going to get banished for the Caligula. So this doesn't seem like a very big board right now. Shuffle back to add this. But this actually isn't terrible for what we have in our hand. So they only get one. So they get all these special summons, but they only get one effect. Almost everything, though, is an effect 2 special summon. So let's say that's going to go through. They play, let's say they get a couple big guys on board. They go to attack. They're probably not going to have anything huge right away. So maybe send one of your Alistairs. Either way, we stop them for a turn. Let's say these guys get popped. Go to the graveyard. And this is what we start on. And this is full combo right now. So this, they only get the one monster effect. Hopefully we can get into it. Even if they didn't, let's say we had to use this to stop them. This guy's still on field. This is still full combo. This is pretty great right here. Let's show one more. So Caligula's basically there for flu, and if you have a really weird opening hand like that wasn't terrible, but it was definitely weird. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is actually a bad hand. I would say this is a bad hand. Say if we go with this, well, actually, let's see, Meltdown. Say it actually goes through, we'll get our Alistair. Alistair effect to get the invocation, which we already have, but bait the Ash if they haven't already used it. Or if they have like an in-perm. Always go through with your combos. Even if you have all the pieces, it just kind of throws your opponent off, and it gives you extra stuff to work with. Okay. So now over here would go into our links, go Alistair into the All Mirage, and we're going to go from the All Mirage to the Sakura. So we do this for two reasons. One, if we do actually have any of the Dogmatika stuff, especially with Maximus, you want something in the graveyard to go after, or say if we went second and they have a big board set up, 10 cards, then we'd go into the Pergio or whatever, and just have a really big monster that can attack a bunch. But now we're just going to go to the Invocation. We're going to pick Alistair and the Secure Gardener. to go into the Macabre. Shuffle back, add the Alistair. And then on our end phase, what we actually have here is pretty good. So we have 2 traps. We're going to set those. So we have 2 monster negates, 3 monster negates, or if they do a spell, we have a spell negate. And when he negates, he also banishes, so it's really good for monsters, but it's also really good for like field spells too. So 3 negates, and we are set up for next round. That's actually not too bad. See if we had to use all of it, because we do have an invocation in hand. So monster negate, monster negate, monster negate. Get to our turn. Alistair is still live because invocation allows us to use him out of graveyard. And if we really wanted to, then we just melt down again, get us another Alistair, and we go right back into all of it. What's our next card? Yeah, so, well, I didn't shuffle, so our next card would be, okay. So him, we can get the special summon. We won't get a negate, but it's on our turn, assuming they don't have anything great on board. We can roll. We can definitely roll. So, cool. Awesome. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for checking out another one of my videos. If you're interested in any more, I've got a couple lined up right here. And if you haven't yet, click the icon in the center to subscribe to my channel. And remember, have fun out there.